Yeah. Ignore the noise of the world, man. You know, just ignore it, man. Get yourself some Mother Nature. Go for a walk, go for a jog, go for a run, do some push-ups, do something, But ignore the noise of the world. The world's always going to try to throw stuff your way to get you feeling some type of way about yourself. That's what the world does. You know what I'm saying? The world is full of people that's ungodly at the end of the day. The world is full of ungodly people. The Bible says many called, but only a select few were chosen. Only a select few chosen, y'all. No, we're not perfect, but Jesus is perfect. The one we worship is perfect at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? But see, the world is most of the world. They not living for the Lord, y'all. They not living for the Lord. You know what I'm saying? They just not. So ignore the world. Ignore the noise of the world, man. In due time, your time will come. At the end of the day, don't worry about when it is you're finna get your new job or whatever it is you're thinking about, or when you're finna get your breakthrough. Realistically, there's really not much of a breakthrough. There's just now. You know what I mean? There's just now is all it is. And the more we sit around worrying about things that what I'm saying is it doesn't need to happen, right? The more we worry about things that don't need to happen, the more we're gonna sit around and worry about it. All right? The things that need to happen are the things that need to happen in order for the things that don't need to happen to come into play at the end of the day. So, in the meantime, say a prayer to the Lord about it. Focus on the Lord about it. Get off into the scriptures. Get off into that Philippians 4:13. Through Christ, anything is possible through Him who strengthens me at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Get off into that Bible. Get off into the Mother Nature. Go for a run. Go for a jog. Do some push-ups. Hit a couple of weights at the end of the day. I got a 150-pound bench press at my house that I hit throughout the week. And that's what I do at the end of the day. Push-ups, a little bit of cardio here and there, a couple of walks, a couple of jogs here and there. You know what I'm saying? A couple of smoothies and stuff. So I'm finna go make myself a protein and creatine smoothie because I haven't had nothing yet. Only water today. Haven't had nothing else in my system, so I'm finna go do that. But every other Christian out there that's authentic, not one of these false Christians. See, I don't have time as Christians. We shouldn't have time to pay attention to these giant fake Christian platforms, okay? We shouldn't give no play to these giant Christian platforms because they already compromised. They already sold their soul, y'all. They're already done for. They compromised, okay? They compromised the gospel for riches and fame. That's all they did. They just want attention. These giant fake Christian platforms only care about a click. They don't really care about the Lord, okay? They utilize the Lord to do false tarot readings. They utilize the Lord to do false gospels and false preaching and stuff like that at the end of the day. You know what I mean? That's what they do in these false fake Christian platforms at the end of the day. I don't pay attention to that stuff. I don't scroll through social media. I don't do that stuff at the end of the day. I don't scroll through YouTube. I just share stuff to YouTube. You know what I mean? But I don't scroll through social media. I don't do all that stuff at the end of the day. I just focus on myself at the end of the day. Stick to myself at the end of the day. Most people aren't good to be around. When the Bible says, for many are called, but only a select few are chosen at the end of the day, that means most people in the world, they're not on track for the Lord, man. I don't care how intelligent they seem. I don't care how beautiful, how handsome they are, or how rich or how poor they are. It doesn't matter who they are or what they're about. If the 9 times out of 10, they're not right with the Lord, man. They're not right with the Lord at the end of the day. And if they're not right with the Lord, I don't want to be around them because the Bible says to have no fellowship with non-believers because non-believers are possessed by the devil at the end of the day. And as Christians, we have to understand that, okay? We got all these Christian platforms and stuff who are friends of the world, and the Bible says those who are loved by the world, the love of the Father is also not in He. Okay? The love of the Father is also not in He. Are they in the Lamb's book of life? Is their name in the beautiful book of life of Jesus Christ of the beautiful, beautiful heaven at the end of the day? And that's the honest to God truth right there, is that these individuals, they haven't felt spirit heaven, okay? They only believe in a physical heaven. They haven't felt the spiritual heaven because they don't know Jesus. right? And that's why they say, oh, well, I lost my faith in God. I lost my faith in... They never lost their faith. They were the devil. All they were Judas Iscariot. That's all they were. They were just another Judas Iscariot. And they lost their faith because they tried to come to the Lord for some worldly fame, riches, and attention, try to get themselves something going on without truly having a desire to know who the Lord is. Yep, and that's why the Lord then gave these individuals up to a reprobate measy, you know what I'm saying, to a reprobate mind. He then gave them up to the reprobate mind at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, and don't pay attention to it. We finna get up out of here, y'all. Remember, ignore the noise. Say a prayer to the Lord about it. Love God. Love Jesus at the end of the day. Pay attention to your synchronicities He gives you. See, Jesus also said that, come to me and I will show you things you do not know, okay? Jesus will give you signs. Jesus will give you synchronicities. Jesus will give you everything you need to know, all the signs that you don't need to know. He's going to reveal things to you that other people don't know at the end of the day. He's going to reveal things to you that other people don't know and won't figure out. And they're going to be like, how the heck did you figure this out? How the heck did you do that? How the heck do you know this? How did you know to come here? How did you know to say that? How did you know to post this or do that? That's because it's Jesus. It's not us. It's Jesus working through us. It's through Christ who strengthens me. It's Jesus' strength. I wake up every day and it's not my strength. It's the Lord's strength. There's days I don't want to get up. There's days I don't want to get out of bed. There's days where I don't want to clean. There's days where I don't want to go for that drive. Days where I don't want to go for that beautiful walk and use my beautiful feet with my beautiful socks and my beautiful shoes. There's days where I don't want to do that. But then the Lord taps into my soul and Jesus says, you know what? You got to get out there and do something. You got to get out there and do it, because the devil wants you to sit around and be idle. That way you have a little bit of extra time to scroll through social media when the Lord don't want to scroll through social media, okay? Most people, all they're saying is, oh, let's get this money, let's get that money, let's do this, let's do that. Well, they're not on track for the Lord. Let's get this gospel. That's what it's about. Let's get this gospel. They're not on track for the Lord. That's why their whole life is Instagram. That's why their whole life is Facebook. That's why their whole life is YouTube at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, that's a curse from the devil, y'all. The internet is their whole life. Their whole life is AI at the end of the day. Their whole life is their job. Their whole life is their business. Their whole life is their career. Their whole life is food on YouTube. These food platforms that's living in gluttony and stuff, that's on their way to the lake of fire, y'all, because they worship food. We got these Christians who worship the soda. We got these Christians who worship the Jordans. We got these Christians who worship the PlayStation. Ain't nothing wrong with having some food. Ain't nothing wrong with having a couple of video games. Ain't nothing wrong with a couple of movies, couple of music, but we got even Christians who worship Christian music. We got Christians who worship the actual church itself, and the statue is off in these churches, and that's a major, major red flag in the Christian church today, y'all. Stay away from the noise. Stay away from people. Say your prayer. That way you can put some air in your beautiful lungs every day until it's our time to go and meet the Lord in heaven, until it's our time to take our last breath upon this earth. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to follow the Lord no matter how many times I stumble. I'm going to follow the Lord till I take my last breath out of my beautiful lungs that the Lord gave me. And I'm grateful for that. And I ain't afraid to die. And we don't fear no man but God. But we finna get up out of here, y'all. Love y'all.